All right, good evening. I'd like to call to order the Lower Macungie Township Board of Commissioners regular meeting for April 16th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Could you please join me for a pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No, that makes sense.
All right, for the roll call, all are present that are supposed to be here, and Matthew Hove, do I have that right?
Close, Hovey.
Hovey, is sitting in for Mark Fisher this evening. Agenda modifications, there are none this evening. Announcements and presentations, none that I'm aware of. Hearings and approvals, 6.1. Resolution 2026-13, approving an amendment to the Valley at Indian Creek Subdivision and Land Development Plan, 3510 Macungie Road. Vince.
All right, yes, thank you very much, Mr. President. Tonight on the agenda for the board's consideration is a resolution to adopt an amendment to a previously approved plan from November 2nd, 2023. The reason the applicant has submitted a modification is here tonight is due to modifications in the stormwater design required by submission review of their NPDES permit and the subsequent design revisions, as well as a noted conflict between a proposed sewer main that serves a development and a proposed walking path that will be installed to connect this development to the watermill development, the Indian Creek and the Indian Creek Village development, with that trail making its connection at Jasper Road. Up on the screen before I go any further is what you have in front of you is the same thing that's on the screen tonight. We have the original subdivision plan, full plan view, and then as I just continue with the narrative here, I'll go through each plan and how just showing the difference of the easements. And so at the board recalls, we did provide a brief overview of this as part of my department report, which was during the January workshop. And then as such, from that point on, staff and consultants have worked with the applicant since then. And what is being presented tonight's acceptable, so I'd like to present the background, further for tonight. So typically with the land development approval process, upon preliminary final approval by the board, the applicant still must receive third-party approvals, and upon receiving those approvals, they also must comply with all the requirements of staff and engineer reviews prior to recording the plan. So generally speaking, there may be minor engineering tweaks or relocations that would not require board approval since it's still within the general parameters of the approved plan. So in this particular case with 3510 Macungie Road, these modifications that were required, it required the applicant to acquire an expanded easement area on township property, and therefore that's why we're here tonight for board approval. So I'd like to note that the proposed expanded easements are necessary for the eventual HOA to have access to the stormwater infrastructure, as that will be owned and maintained by the HOA. So this is necessary easement since the township will have no responsibility to maintain this infrastructure or stormwater outfall. The same situation goes for the walking path. This will also be owned and maintained by the HOA, as in the same case as a stormwater. The HOA will need access through the easement for maintenance or replacement at some time and any time in the future. And then one last item I want to note before we go through the illustrations we have here is the easement was also increased in width to provide the proper separation of the walking path and the sewer line, because the sewer line will be owned and maintained by the township. So this was communicated to the applicant as well during the final review stage, so that the township can avoid any future conflicts with the path if repair or maintenance was ever required on the sewer line. So ultimately, is the HOA responsibility to replace the path if damaged due to the township's need to repair or maintain our sewer line? However, we always look to try to avoid these conflicts in the future before they arise, so we noted that, that was noted by the Public Works Department as well. So if we could go through the couple slides and what you have in front of you, and then be happy to answer any questions, and if there are any particular engineering questions, then at that point I would gladly turn it over to Township Engineer McAdam. So the first plan and/or slide we have is the, we did have the existing plan on there. So we'll go into the zoomed in version, and this is the original and existing approved plan. Shows a 20-foot easement, and then on this plan, the walking path and the sewer line were directly, the walking path was directly above the sewer line. So we, number one, maintenance in the future. Number two, we do not want to have manholes within the walking path, right? Any kind of future hazards for anybody using the path, because it will be accessed by the township. Since it is an easement, anyone in the township can use that to get from one development to the other. On the next page, Renee, please. So this is the overall subdivision plan as part of the modification. And as you can see, again, we will focus on the top left corner because that is where the modifications to the plan are being made. So Renee, if you could go to the next slide, please. All right, so this is the modification. I have outlined this in yellow as part of the NPDES designs and redesign, I should say, and approvals. The outfall where this sheet flow of water was originally back on the property line and did sheet flow into the township. However, with the conflicts and the design required by the NPDES permit, that had to be extended. So again, that line, stormwater line you see in that yellow hashed area is responsibility of the HOA, and we need to provide that easement so they can access that for any maintenance or repairs, replacement in the future. So as I noted on the documents in front of you, instead of 20 foot, that easement has increased to 45 feet directly in that area. As we continue in that easement towards Jasper Road, Renee, I'll note first that the easement increased from 20 feet to 25 feet. And Renee, if you could go to the next slide, please. This is just in color showing the green as the sewer line and the red as the walking path. So as you can see, they are separated now, and which again necessitated the need for a wider easement for ease of maintenance and or access in the future. So that's pretty much it. It's generally. This area was only modified, the only modified area on the plan that would be affected by board approval. And generally all other aspects of the plan and the resolution will remain as approved from 2023.
Move to approve.
Engineer McAdam, do you have anything to add?
Just a couple of brief things. I obviously agree with everything Vince just said. It was a long process to get to this point, and the adjustments that were made were discussed not just with our office, but also with Doug Sisko at Public Works to make sure that what eventually winds up on the plan and constructed is something that he's comfortable with. Of particular note is that between the original approval, conditional approval, and this particular plan, I just wanted to make sure the board was aware that the water that is leaving that proposed end wall at the end of the easement, that water is, it's water from the east side of McCungie Road that goes through a cross pipe and then into this, basically a pipe system that goes around the basins and then ties into the detention basin discharge pipe. That's another modification that's going to be made. So all the water was going there anyway. We are not asking the engineer to design something to direct water from somewhere else into the township open space. Also, to get to the point we are now, we had asked the engineer to provide documentation of the conditions in the open space area, just to get it on record as to what happens now, where the water goes. It all does eventually go to a series of small pipes and a head wall that are kind of relative to this plan to the top and to the right corner of the screen, so to speak. So all the water continues to go there as it has for years. We are in the process of trying to clean up a couple of last-minute things with the engineer on their check set. But as Vince appropriately mentioned, the reason that this is in need of an amended resolution is because of the introduction of the storm sewer easement on township property. And we are perfectly good with this in concept. Like I said, we're working out the final engineering details. The one thing that's, I'll say, slightly beneficial is that the plans had not been recorded yet. So it's nice because the applicant doesn't have to re-record the plan. So as much as I'm sure they would have wished that this would have been recorded before, in a roundabout way, it winds up being better that it wasn't, because then you have to re-record. And so we'll have the plan that winds up getting recorded. Everything will be tidied up and we'll be done.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Robert to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll make that second.
I have a second. Do I have any comments or questions from the board? Commissioner Bosak.
Yeah, just it's ancillary, I guess, to this, but there's 22 homes in this, and the HOA is going to manage all these things. Do we have an estimate on what the HOA fees might be? Those homes, I mean, do we?
That's between the developer and.
Well, I say that because, like, if it's going to be really expensive for the homes to have to pay that HOA fee, it just could be a consideration. When we think about the small neighborhoods and the higher HOA fees, what happens then if, the HOA can't be sustained and we have to take that over?
Yeah, so as part of the resolution, we do require, prior to recording, require the HOA declaration to be reviewed by the solicitor's office, obviously, but that does not have any details of cost, right, at this point. Typically, we don't receive that prior to any, that's, like Brian said, between the developer and owners of the lots. But I completely understand your concern, but it's not something that we typically regulate.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions from the board? Is the client here this evening? Do you have any questions or comments? No. Any questions from the public? All right. Having no more questions, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor state so by saying aye. Aye. Motion passed. 6.2, Resolution 2026-14, approving disposition of township records. Bruce.
Thank you. As discussed at the workshop, it's necessary that the township follow both state and township regulations for the disposition of all records. We've noted them for the board for your consideration. This authorizes us to proceed, and we destroy those per shredding at our one of our annual shredding events. So.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
A motion by Commissioner Robert to approve. Do I have a second?
Second that.
Second. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Having no more questions, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor state so by saying aye. Aye. Motion passed. .3, Resolution 2026-15, approving DCNR grant application for the Wild Cherry Playground Rehab Project. Bruce.
Thank you. As both myself and Mr. Jones described at various workshops, township staff is working on several grants for items. They are on our longer-term project list. What you see before you in the next three resolutions is the board authorizing us to file those applications so that we can get them in a timely manner. They are due at the end of the month. So our next playground in our series on our long-term list is Wild Cherry. Of course, it's not to be completed this year, but future planning. We anticipate about $500,000 for that project total. So the grant request is going to be in the area of about $250,000. So you're authorizing us to proceed and me to sign all documents.
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Robert. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Bosak. Do I have any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. 6.4, Resolution 2026-16, approving a DCNR grant application for the Western Lehigh Greenway feasibility study. Nate.
Yes, thank you, sir. Similar to what Mr. Beidle just said, this is another DCNR grant that's due at the end of the month. This is for the Western Lehigh Trail Feasibility Study. We'll be partnering with our neighboring communities in Upper Macungie Township, Emmaus Borough, and Upper Milford Township. And essentially, this would be a planning exercise between the municipalities to come up with a regional greenway network that interweaves our trail systems together. So we will be requesting $190,000 as part of that grant. There is a match, and that match at some point in time will be figured out with our partner communities. This gives you the authorization to have Mr. Beidle sign off on the grant application, and we'll proceed forward.
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Robert. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rafis. Do I have any comments or questions from the board?
Just a question for Nate. So are you saying that the grant, the process is $190,000? That's what the study would cost? Or you're saying that's what we're approving?
Thank you, sir. I can shed some light on that. Our recommendation from our DCNR contact was to obtain some quotes, and that's a conservative quote of what the full planning study would cost.
Okay.
But we believe that'll be 50% as well. So if there would potentially be award 95 and 95, we would split those costs with the other municipalities as well.
But that's not just our, I mean, I know it's 50% and then split by 3.
Split by 4.
I'm sorry, 4 municipalities.
And chances are we will have the majority of that since we have the probably largest area in the study side. So.
Okay.
Commissioner Bosak, did you have anything?
Good, covered it. Thank you.
Right.
I have a question.
Yes.
Once the study is started, how long typically until we could see some movement on like more connections?
I think we can always move on connections and looking at trails. For us, this might be the first exercise of requesting state funding where they like to see that overall plan, knowing that each municipality also has plans that they may be requesting funding for. This document may be of assistance for any other vehicles for funding, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions from the public? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. 6.5, Resolution 2026-17, approving a DCNR grant application for the prefabricated pedestrian bridge over the Little Lehigh Creek project. Once again, Nate.
Yes, thank you, sir. Just as before, this is for a prefab bridge for both pedestrians and bikers. Back behind Rutherford Drive, we already have trail that's there. This will span the creek and connect on the opposite side of the Little Lehigh Creek over by Spring Creek Road. This is a very important connectivity point for us that we've been trying to get for a number of years. So this will permit Mr. Beidle to sign off on the grant that we'll get in before the end of the month. Right now, after speaking with the township engineer, we have a very rough cost of about $541,754. It could change just a bit between now and the time we make the submission, but then there is our match. And our match, we will be looking at other vehicles for funding on that as well, potential future grants where you could do a match or working internally with the township.
And that's about 271,000, so 50% of that project total.
All right, thank you, Nate. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any comments or questions from the board? I'll just add that this is the area across from the dog park on Spring Creek Road. And no matter how you look at that price compared to our attempt years ago, it's a great reduction in cost. And it's because of, I'm going to call it the new technology and bridges that they use versus a lot of PennDOT requirements required pilings to be sunk down till they hit solid earth. But some of you may remember what we went through trying to get this bridge crossed before. Any more questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Having no more questions, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. 6.6. Consideration of the sewage facilities planning module for the NP Land Holdings 1 land development at 7428 Industrial Parkway. I believe, Vince, are you going to take this?
Yes, thank you again, Mr. President. So tonight, before the board is a sewer planning module for this NP Land Holdings, which received preliminary final land development approval on March 5th, 2026. And it's a light manufacturing building in Industrial Parkway. So more or less a sewage planning module serving a by right land development, an existing industrial subdivision, nothing really out of the ordinary or any special conditions that I could note for the board. So if there are any further questions from the board, I'd be happy to answer any.
Okay, thank you, Vince.
Move to approve.
Engineer McAdam, do you have anything to add?
I have nothing to add other than a reminder that for any of the planning modules that come to you for approval, township staff coordinates with my office, and we have appropriate people review them and, assist with getting the documents prepared. So we're all good.
All right, I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Bosak. Any more questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. 6.7, consideration to advertise an ordinance amending Chapter 21, streets and sidewalks for road opening permits. Bruce.
Thank you, Commissioners. As we discussed at the workshop in detail, this is the update to the Chapter 21, which includes road openings and how those are handled. It does not include the sidewalk portion that we reviewed with the board. All you're doing is granting us the ability to advertise this ordinance. Advertising is necessary as part of the public display of the document. The board will then consider it at a future meeting after that advertisement. So this is just for advertising of that revision.
Move to advertise.
All right, I have a motion to approve for advertisement. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. I believe I had 2 seconds there. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Julie, you're mighty quiet tonight. All right. Seeing no more questions, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor state so by saying aye. Aye.
The roll call? It's just
Is
advertising.
it
Would I
roll
skip?
call, or-
It is not. We're just advertising.
Okay, so, aye.
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 Motion passed. Item 7, public comment on non-agenda topics. Oh, looks like a quiet night. Okay, item number 8, communication. Manager Beidel.
We have no items this evening.
Appointments to various boards, committees, and commission. There are none tonight. Approval of minutes of previous meetings for April 2nd, 2026.
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second that.
Second.
I have 2 seconds. Commissioner Barrett and Commissioner Bosak. Any commissioner comments?
No.
Any public comments? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Bill list approved. Minutes approved. All right. Let's see, where am I? Now we're approval of transfer, bill list, and payroll. Manager Beidel.
Thank you. I have the following for your consideration this evening. The general fund, $157,082.59. The solid waste fund, $16,863.18. The sewer fund, $19,258.08. The capital projects fund, $2,936.73. The open space maintenance fund, $349.75. The payroll, $172,033.39. Developer escrow, $44,385.70. For a total of all funds, $412,909.42.
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Bosak. Any commissioner or public comments? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Bill list approved. Item 12, departmental matters and reports. Do I have any departmental director updates this evening?
Tonight, for me, thank you.
All right, seeing none. Engineering. 12.2.1, Resolution 2026-18, approving an escrow release for the Mertztown Road residential subdivision project. Engineer McAdam.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is escrow release number 4. We're recommending the release of $532,439.08. That will leave a balance of $278,899.81.
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Do I have any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Having no questions, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor state so by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Engineers project status report.
Thank you, Mr. President. In your packet tonight is our monthly report on the status of all the various projects we have been working on with the township, as is updated monthly. Also, just a quick note on the Mertztown Road subdivision. It's a massive project, obviously, and they are cruising along with the infrastructure. It's kind of crazy that they've gotten as much done as they have. Home construction is pending relatively soon. We're working out some items with the pump station with the developer at the moment, and once all of that's straightened out, I think anybody that goes by there will notice houses going up very quickly, from what we've been told. So other than that, if you have any questions on anything in my report, I'd be happy to help. And that's about it.
Can you remind me how many homes are going there?
There are 400.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 400 homes. Off the top of my head, I forget what the split is between single-family and the townhouses, but I think it's roughly three-quarters
It's like 285
Single?
singles.
singles and then the rest are
128
towns. Yeah. My understanding is they're going to be building 2 single-family homes and 1 townhouse block to serve as models. NV Homes,
NVR.
NVR, is the builder that's doing the home construction itself. Jandal companies are doing all of the infrastructure.
Thank you.
Any more questions for the engineer? Seeing none. Thank you, Engineer McAdam. 0.3, Solicitor's report. Solicitor Matthew.
Thank you. I've nothing to add other than to say thank you for allowing me to pinch hit this evening. I know Mark really appreciates it. If you have any questions, I could try to take a shot, but you're probably better off saving those for when he comes back.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Matthew? None. 0.4, Township Manager. Manager Bidle's report.
I have nothing in addition to the workshop as discussed. We'll have various topics at the next workshop on the 27th, unless there's questions for me about anything going on.
Any questions for the manager? Seeing none. Item 13, other business. There is no unfinished business to attend to this evening. Item 14, Board of Commissioners report. The next board workshop is April 27th at 6 p.m. The next regular board meeting is May 7th at 6 p.m. There was no executive session the night before the meeting or after. It is 6:31 and this meeting is adjourned.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Bye.